Wisconsin's Department of Revenue says the state lost about 475,000 jobs in the spring of 2020 and has recovered about half of those. Many people remain out of work and in need of unemployment assistance. We're talking now about what working people really want to see happen for a stronger economy and jobs outlook coming up in 2021. Stephanie Bloomingdale is the president of the Wisconsin AFL-CIO, and she joins me now. So Stephanie, thank you for your time today. And just go ahead and start by telling us what COVID-19 has really done to working people.
Well, COVID-19 has really devastated working people disproportionately. When the pandemic hit, workers really bore the brunt of the effects of COVID-19 because working people, essential workers, could not do their work from home on the Zoom. So they had to go to work, and it really was workers who powered us through this pandemic. Workers suffered financially, devastated financially, especially disproportionately workers of color and frontline workers. Workers also, far too many died and far too many got sick. And also too many suffered from despair. And so we saw that while it was workers, it was the frontline workers who powered us through this pandemic, workers also suffered disproportionately in terms of financially and also the numbers of workers who were sick and died. I was just speaking with a friend whose mother is a nurse, and she has to work every day because of the surge in COVID cases, but she's got to go to work and she's potentially infected each and every day. So she can't self-isolate or quarantine so that she can be with her family. And that's an additional struggle that working people that are on the front lines are facing.
When it comes to the vaccine, there's so much talk about it. How important is the vaccine rollout to the people who you represent, really, Wisconsin's men and women in the union?
Well, really, the vaccine is a shining light for us, a light really at the end of the tunnel in terms of this COVID pandemic. And we really want to make sure that our frontline workers are vaccinated quickly. We know that the nurses and healthcare workers, which includes housekeepers and food service workers and CNAs that are helping COVID patients get better, are vaccinated right away. And then also frontline workers need to be vaccinated as soon as possible. Listen, if workers aren't safe, then our society is not safe. And really, OSHA has done very little to protect workers in this pandemic. They basically threw up their hands. And while there have been thousands and thousands of complaints, there's only been dozens of investigations. And that is a real shame for working people because their job is to keep the workplaces safe, and they failed us. President Trump refused to institute an infectious disease standard, which really held us back from getting through this pandemic successfully.
And you mentioned President Trump there. I know you support President-elect Joe Biden. What does Labor want to see from the incoming Biden administration that you think would help?
Well, we're really looking forward to working with President-elect Biden in this next year. And we know that Joe Biden is committed to building back better, which means reinvesting in our manufacturing base and also passing the PRO Act, the Protecting the Right to Organize Act, which will help workers who want to organize into a union do so free from intimidation from their employers.
What are you hearing overall that labor really needs to make sure that 2021 is strong?
We need to make sure that we pass another stimulus package for working Americans. We need to have an infectious control standard across the board to keep workers safe. And also, in order to be really successful, we need to make sure that the workers that lifted us up through this pandemic, that we continue to value the workers that power us through every day into the future. And that means we need to make sure that people have better wages and better working conditions and safety on the job. And we'd also like to see corporations, rather than spending money on high-paid union busters, but really invest that money into their employees through better wages and working conditions.
Well, Stephanie Bloomingdale, we're all hoping for a better 2021. Thank you.
Thank you.
You can get all the latest business news and headlines online at wisbusiness.com. It's a product of our editorial partner, wispolitics.com. Coming up, that backlog in state unemployment claims. How are they doing in clearing that?